Welcome to that 80s show. OMG, it's OMD. Dori, I'm Dilly. Dilly Dori, Dilly Dias. We are Dilly for OMD on that 80s show.
It doesn't take a lot to excite you, but on this level, I'm with you. I'm with you on the level of excitement.
Word, we are that 80s show. Welcome to it. And we are besides ourselves, right? So, announced this week, tickets are on sale. By the time you're listening to this, I probably would have bought my tickets, right? I don't know where I'm getting the money. I'm buying my tickets. It's going to happen. But we are going to go watch OMD. Now, listen, here's the thing. Lots of things. Now, OMD. Yes. You may go, OMD? I don't remember because, not everyone's music anoraks like us. They maybe like listening to the show for the music content, the shenanigans content. But music, OMD, so many hits in the 80s. Enola Gay, Dreaming, Secret. Which was your favorite, Dori?
Sure.
Electricity?
Enola Gay, for sure. I really loved, and I think it was actually one of their 90s songs. I love Sailing on the Seven Seas.
Oh.
But maybe that's because, they've been here before, right?
They have. Have you seen them before? Did you see them when they were here?
I have seen them when they were here before, and that was the Sailing on the Seven Seas album that they were touring, and so that was like the big hit at the time, and I remember watching it live very clearly. I remember I used to work at big concerts selling the merchandise. I've told these stories many times on the show, so I was lucky enough to be working there and selling the merchandise. So I saw them a few times because I think they did more than one show.
Spoiled. It
was great, though. It was really, really good. And I mean, that was so long ago, though. Like, I think I deserve to see them again, Paulo.
That's what I'm saying. So let's give you the details, right? It's being put on by Breakout Events, right? You can get the tickets on breakoutevents.co.za. This is not a paid piece. This is a public service announcement. We're not getting paid for this. We're not getting anything in return. We're just OMD. We're like, we got to get our listeners to the best 80s shows from that 80s show. Best in Africa. Don't add us, right? So the two dates, April 2024, 18th of April at the Greenpoint A-Track, and then the 20th in Johannesburg at Marks Park in Marentia. So now I just want to talk to you about a quick little thing here, right? So this is where Dori and I get Dilly.
Yes.
Dilly Dias, Dilly Dori. Okay, just that's the theme of the show, Dilly Dias, Dilly Dori. This is where we get interested because the last time we went to a concert, unbeknownst, was to watch Aha at the very same Marks Park in Emmarentia. Now, it is it's a sports field, right? I think they play baseball on there or softball on there normally, do lots of sport. Beautiful suburb. This is going to be in April. So Johannesburg in April. April is still lovely, late autumn. It's not unbearably hot. It's just so pleasant, right? Will be so.
Is it late autumn, mid autumn? Do we have autumn?
We don't have autumn, right? It's still going to be warm.
We do have autumn because the leaves show themselves.
Okay, the leaves, but it's going to be a day where it's sunscreen and KWA jackets. So that's going to be your combination, right? That's what we're going to be doing. Not going to be a good day to be sunscreen or KWA. So what gets us excited, right, is the last time we went to Marks Park was to go see Aha. Now,
yes,
obviously there's a trend here. You got an 80s band, you got to take them to Marks Park. What a fantastic concert that was. It was just going to concerts with grown-ups, right, Dori?
Yes.
Yeah, everyone was well behaved. What astounded me, sitting down. What astounded me afterwards is we kind of like waited a little bit, but the cleaning staff now come around to start cleaning. Nothing to clean. Everyone is just be responsible. We're adults. We're grown-ups. We're going to put our rubbish in the bin. The place was spotless, and the cleaning staff were like, what do we do? We don't know what to do here. Everyone outside, orderly, waiting for their Ubers. Just a grown-up concert experience. Great music. So we cannot wait. Breakout Events. That's where you're going to get your tickets. So that is Thursday. We can't vouch for Cape Town, but I'm going to tell you, Cape Townians are better behaved than Joburg. So it'll be infinitely better at the Greenpoint A-Track on the 18th of April.
I'm curious because there will probably be some local support acts. I'm kind of curious to see who they choose.
Evoid reunion.
It'll probably be different.
Evoid reunion.
Well, I think there's been one. I think there's been one a little bit too recently.
Yes.
I don't think we can expect another one again so soon. But I mean, it would be cool if they got some 80s artists. That would be awesome.
We got to make stuff happen. We got to get, I don't know, we got to do stuff for our listeners. We got to do a podcast from there. We got to do a live podcast from there. We got to make something happen. We had just relaunched that 80s show when AHA were here. We weren't quite ready. But since then, grown in audience, getting the accolades, we're kind of a big deal. Got to make it happen. OMG, it's OMD. But that wasn't the only one, right? So not 80s.
I know.
More 90s, but we know a lot of you love hearing about 90s content. They've not. So we record this on a Wednesday. So drop it on a Friday. Oh, no, wait. The details for the Joburg or the Gauteng version of this, the Gauteng leg, are out because there is 100% retro 90s party also happening. Okay, this time in January in Cape Town and in Johannesburg, or Gauteng, in Pretoria at the Sundome. Sunbed Arena. Listen to this lineup.
Okay.
They've all been here before. Snap, Dr. Alban, Hadaway, Rosella, 24/7, 2 Unlimited, and Technotronic.
I think you need to share how we found out about this concert, Paulo.
Listen.
Because,
as said, kind of a big deal.
It was epic. It was epic.
Kind of a big deal, right? So this is the 100% retro concert. You can get tickets on 100%retro.com. All the words, not the retro or not the percentage symbol. 100%retro.com. Details and tickets there. Again, not paid for, just fans. So
yes.
You may know the most famous person we know some famous people. The most famous person we know is the celeb savant, right? He, of all the celebrity interviews, so recently he did interview 2 Unlimited, and he just casually drops. In our group, everyone's got WhatsApp groups, casually drops. Oh, did you guys know about this retro concert? Ray from 2 Unlimited invited me. Oh, thank God I'm wearing steel cap shoes.
I could hear the mic drop.
Right?
After that post.
You got to be careful. I've got laminate floors. You can't just name drop around me or dent my floors. This is like, what are you talking about? That's just how casually drops it. Have you ever been invited to a retro concert by a member of 2 Unlimited, Dori?
Or any artist for that matter? No.
By any normal person. I've never been invited anywhere.
That's because you tend to go places in your underwear. But yes.
Yeah. So those are concerts. Those are concerts coming up. Thank you to all those organizers. Food was nice for a while, but I will be not engaging with food as I pay for tickets to all of these events. That is going to be fun as shit. Fun as shit. So, Dori. Oh boy.
Yes.
You thought I was Dilly Dias before. I am going to tell you something that is you're going to lose your shit, right?
I can't wait.
Released this week.
I've been waiting, so I can't wait anymore. Yes.
Released this week. You know, the other day we're talking about Andrew Ridgeley's book on Audible, right?
Yes.
Getting the audiobook. Is it worth it?
Yes.
What do you do? So John Stamos has released his autobiography, right? Dropped it this week, a memoir. We're asking, what's the difference between a memoir and an autobiography? We'll read it, we'll find out. So it's released. If you would have told me, that's the name of the book. If you would have told me, okay, this is a whole life story. The foreword, written by, that's what it says, the foreword. I love him and I respect him and I need him. We all do. You know who wrote that foreword? Jamie Lee Curtis. Now.
Wait. You didn't even give me a chance to guess.
Right. Right. Now, the last time we encountered Jamie Lee Curtis on the show, she was in a dream where I was telling her to fuck off. She was climbing through my window. And now I see her as the foreword for John Stamos' memoir. You want to see the cover of the story. So I think it is the on the running order, there is the link called a forward. You want to click on that. You want to see
Right.
John Stamos. You got to see this guy. You got to see, because this is what happens. A few weeks ago, Barrett sends out a quiz. The celeb savant sends out a quiz of 80s crushes, and Dori goes, I definitely know you had Richard Dean Anderson. I can't remember the other one, but John Stamos was definitely in there as 80s crushes, right? So, ballpark for you. Ballpark for you. This man is in his, I think he's 60.
It's ridiculous. Don't tell me that's a current photo.
I think he's 60. He is 60. But how even? How even is that man 60, right? So handsome.
He was drinking the blood of the Olsen twins. I don't know.
Wow.
Sorry.
So, have mercy.
Yes.
So, I'm sure he speaks of the Olsen twins. It's his whole memory. Good friends with Bob Saget. He was married to Rebecca Ramin Stamos. The first story that I found out on this, at the time she was just called Rebecca Ramin, then Rebecca Ramin Stamos.
Yes.
Now I assume Rebecca Ramin again. Now, the first story I found out about this is the first headline: John Stamos nearly became a Scientologist in the 80s. Creepy as fuck. So in the book, he tells the story. His book, if you would have told me, he tells the story about how he almost got taken into Scientology as he was starting out as a young actor in the 80s. He was doing acting classes. He used to flip burgers for his dad. His dad's restaurant, Greek Boy. Of course he's going to do that. Greek Boy, of course you're working at your dad's restaurant. What are you talking about? And the teacher, the acting class teacher runs out to him and says, I got some books for you. You got to read this. You got to start with this one. It's going to open your eyes up to some amazing things. So he says, oh shit, this is about Scientology, right? So he goes, you know what? Let me go. I'm going to go to the Scientology Celebrity Center in Hollywood. He says he walks in, right?
Because remember, in the 80s, we didn't know
Oh, no.
the real deal about Scientology yet.
Do we still know? Do we still know the real deal? Does anyone know?
Yes, we know it now.
Okay, so we know.
We know it. We know
now.
that if someone says, read this, we run screaming. Kick them in the balls, run and scream.
If someone's going to give you a free book, it's not going to be good news, right?
Certain books.
Certain books.
Certain books.
Any books. Don't read books, listen to podcasts. You heard it here first. So he opens up the book and he says a lot of control. The book's about control, controlling your reactionary mind, controlling energy, controlling space, and controlling time. So at the time, you're quite right. Nobody really knows about it. Tom Cruise wasn't part of it. John Travolta, or it wasn't publicly known. So he goes to the center, checks it out. He says, he calls it a cross between Chateau Marmont, Disney's Haunted Mansion, and a mental hospital, right? So he walks in. John Stamos' words,
Amazing.
right? So he says that because Scientology, they do the auditing and you go to a machine and you hold, I've seen it, like you hold two like handles and then they use that to measure something. Like, I don't really know, but that's they do an audit to figure out if you've got the certain, I don't know what it is. And he says, he calls this thing, he says, it looked like the Wayback Machine from the Rocky and Bullwinkle show. All I can think about is the Wayback Machine from the Rocky and Bullwinkle show, deployed by the genius beagle Mr. Peabody and his adopted human boy Sherman to travel through time to different dimensions, okay? He says, I'm handed two round things that look like cans. I put one to my ear and the other to my mouth and mimic talking to old-timey telephone, right? He says,
oh my God.
People were irritated with me and a weird little man pinched me on the hand.
Wow.
So the weird little man begins to question me about committing crimes, asks if I have negative thoughts about Scientology or L. Ron Hubbard, and probes into some strange sex inquiries. Okay? The Wayback Machine needle jumps in the corner and Mia looks disappointed. Apparently I'm not Scientology material. Darn it.
Yeah.
So, how did he get his youth not Scientology? Okay? Will we dispel other myths? I'm not done with the book yet, though. I'm not done. I'm sure there's loads of stories. They're going to come out over the next few weeks. You can be sure that as these stories, as it gets serialized, we're going to drop it on that 80 show. But here's where I got so excited. I jumped out of my seat because I was like, you know, when doing the show, people are cynical. They say, you guys are going to run out of 80 stories. So no, we will never run. We will never run out of them. Because 80 stories find us. And not only are they stories, they are yarns, they are tales. So John Stamos was dating Terry Copley. Do you know who that is? I recognize her. I can't say I know where she's from.
I know the name. Yeah. I really know the name.
Yeah.
We've definitely spoken about her on the show.
We have spoken about her. That's why Terry Copley, American actress and model, known for...
She must have been in something that like a movie that we discussed or something.
Must have been. She was in... I Married a Centerfold. She was the centerfold.
She was the centerfold.
Okay, so we know she's hot to trot.
Okay.
John Stamos and her, beautiful couple. You got to see this picture. Don't see the picture now. You can open later. Okay, beautiful couple.
Okay.
He's absolutely in love with her. He's like, this is the one. I love her so much. I'm dumbstruck and goofy in love. I could spend the rest of my life with her. Who knows if I'll ever find love again? Why not take a chance? So 1 year in the relationship, he's just infatuated. He's driving to her house. Okay, couldn't get hold of her. Trying to get hold of her. Doesn't answer the phone. No contact. He gets to her house and he sees a black 1957 Porsche 356 Speedster in the driveway. He's like, fuck's going on here? That's not her Porsche. This is another Porsche. This is a very masculine Porsche in the driveway. Gets out, starts looking around the house. The blinds are closed. So, oh no. What is happening here? Okay. Sneaks around the house, manages to see inside, and he says, I see 4 feet protruding from the shabby, chic, floral print duvet that once kept me warm. Let me read that again. Okay, this is John Stamos poetry. I take a peek inside and I see 4 feet protruding from the shabby chic, floral print duvet that once kept me warm. Now, I doubt she had 4 feet. Okay?
Yeah, let's assume that's correct.
Okay, so 2 feet belonging to someone else.
Right.
Can we not all see that shabby chic floral print duvet? Can we not see that? We've seen it.
Totally.
We slept.
We have.
For him to now say, I was kept warm by it. That was my bed. I slept in there. And not romped. I slept. I cuddled. I lay in. Right? That's what lay in at least.
So much emotion in one little duvet.
He says, she's in bed with Mr. Porsche Speedster. So he's like, this is done. He's now looking in. He can still make out. He's like, what do? Do I go? And he's young now. Like he's a kid at this point. But John Stamos is not a tough guy. You're not going to put him as a tough guy.
No.
He sees the man, and you can see this man's got a body. He sees these abs. He sees this chest. He's like, oh, fuck. This guy will beat the shit out of me. Like, I'm not emotional. He's young. Runs down the driveway crying. He says, I'm running down the driveway. Tears streaming down my face. I didn't want anyone to see me. Runs off. So Terry Copley, she did not deny the incident happened, but she claimed she was not cheating because the Ross Geller defense, they were on a break. They'd already broken up.
No.
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe somebody really used that thing.
We were on a break, right? She's like, she knew he was there, but she's like, what the fuck's he doing here? Okay. Like, we're broken up. Right. What are you doing? And get over it, dude. Like, you're John Stamos. This is now he's hurt because the duvet, once kept him warm, is now a romp duvet. It's now a sex duvet, Dori. A sex duvet. Okay.
Keeping somebody else warm, in inverted commas.
Barely covering his abs. I know his butt is out there, right? The pain is so overwhelming. Looking back, it's like probably she wasn't the right girl for me. Okay. I mean, it wasn't right to cheat on me, but I was too immature. I wasn't a man. I didn't become a man for a long time. And I think she knew I was broken. Whoa. Man. John Stamos, he still says, when people are cheated on, they make a list. It's like, oh, she left me because I didn't have enough money. Or I'm not good looking enough. Or this and that. And
John Stamos not good looking enough. Who's more good looking than John Stamos? Did she cheat on him with Robert Downey Jr.? That's the only acceptable answer.
So, right. This is kind of like a true crime podcast. We're discovering there's a true romp. To recap the story.
Podcast.
Okay, to recap the story. John Stamos written a book. In love with actress Terry Copley from I Married at Centerfold. Hot couple, beautiful. He's in love with her, goes to her house. Sees a 1957 Porsche in her driveway. What's going on? Not her Porsche. Looks around, sees she's in bed with another man. Should I go fight this other man? He's got abs. He will beat me. I run away. I'm heartbroken. Who did she? She claimed she didn't cheat. They were on a break. They broke up. She cheated.
Whose Porsche was it?
Who's Porsche? Who's the boss? Motherfucking Tony Danza.
No.
Yes. Terry Copley denies cheating on John Stamos with Tony Danza. We were broken up. This is a true story. I'm buying John Stamos' book once I've paid for my tickets. Dori.
Okay, hang on. I'm trying to think how. I'm trying to remember because this was when 80s.
This was
in the
80s. What, Dori? We're talking. I mean,
I'm trying to remember.
He says in the 80s.
What Tony Danza looked like. No, I'm sorry. John Stamos is way hotter. No, unacceptable. Unacceptable.
In this article, you can now open it. They do have a picture of John Stamos in the 80s, right? But I know what you're saying. Like, because
although looks aren't everything, Tony seems like a really cool guy. I'm not judging. He seems like a really cool guy.
No one's saying he's not a cool guy. And listen, you're talking 80s. Tony Danza was.
But you didn't catch them talking. Just saying.
I'm saying. Okay. He was a minor league baseball player. I know he played some level of professional athlete sports. So he was not only as a good-looking actor, Italian boy. He's got to have that tan. Got to have that Mediterranean skin.
Oh my God, that is such an 80s picture with the orange background.
Right? Look at his hair. Right? But
look at that hair.
I love Tony Danza. I think Tony Danza's fantastic. I loved him in Who's the Boss. I've got nothing bad to say about Tony Danza. He's not John Stamos. Abs or not. Abs.
I mean, look at the picture of the two of them, John Stamos and her. Oh my God.
I know. Gorgeous. Go back. Look at the cover. Look at the cover of John Stamos' book. Looking better as an older man now. Terry Copley, what you thinking? What a story, Dori. What?
That is quite something.
What an absolute story. Showed who's the boss of that full house.
So it sounds like this book is going to be, oh my God, no.
That's what I'm saying.
It sounds like it's going to be an interesting read, actually. A very interesting read.
I cannot wait.
Sure, and there's...
Forward by Jamie
There's another
Curtis.
picture of John Stamos now. Yeah, and there's another picture of him now, and he has aged well. He has aged well. Oh, and she's aged well too, Terry Copley. There's another there's a picture of her.
Okay.
What? She looks good. This is all on the same article. You just got to scroll down.
Oh, but Dori, I mean, like, listen, thank you to, this is from the New York Post. Thank you for allowing us to use your content. I mean, full credit to you. You guys have a lot of pop-ups. There are a lot of ads. It's very difficult. It's
so
very
many
difficult.
ads.
So many.
Hang on. This bottom picture, is this his current girlfriend, John Stamos? It says Caitlin McHugh and John Stamos in 2023, and he's kissing her. She looks pretty young, just saying.
I have seen her, but she
looks really nice.
She's on a show now. I've seen her. Hey, listen.
He looks incredible. Him and Morton Harkett. What are they doing?
Something going on there. You see, it's those European genes. You got to have it. I miss them. I don't know what the fuck's happening with me. Dori, there is on the Amazon link, there's an Audible sample. I wonder if we can play
fueled by his own internal...
Oh, I'm not interested. That's not John Stamos. That wasn't John Stamos. That wasn't John Stamos. No.
Okay.
Do you think that was him?
Heartbeat of kindness?
No, that's not him. Not interested. I don't want to know it. I will get the audiobook when John Stamos reads it. If you would have told me...
Like Andrew Ridgeley.
I'm not going to fuck up two books. If you would have told me I slept with Tony Danza, that's what we bring you. That's why that 80 show will never die, because we're able to get these stories. We find them, They come to our world. So what else we do on that 80 show every week is we look at movie recommendations, sometimes podcast recommendations about dolphin penises, Dori. Well,
sometimes, once in a while. Have you started listening to Hooked on Freddy?
You know, I felt very bad. Dori's recommendation last week, Hooked on Freddy, very ambiguous link to the 80s. It started in the 80s. No other link other than that. I give Dori a pass. But I feel bad this week because Celeb Savant says, listen, I've got some interviews, done some podcasts. Have you guys listened? I'm like, my extra podcast listening time has been consumed by this little perverted dolphin and his perverted manhandler.
No, it's the dolphin's perverted, not the manhandler.
I don't know. You can get away. The dude he was there. He knows what he was doing. He knows what's up. He knows what's up.
Have you finished listening?
No, I haven't. I'm not really that much.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not too far into it. But that is what Hooked on Freddy. Dori's, you'll never think of dolphins again in the same way. After listening.
You'll certainly think of dolphins again in a completely different way.
Jeez. You'll definitely give a dolphin a safe word if you...
So, quite a few years ago, for my birthday, we were going to Durban, and a friend of mine bought me what they call the dolphin experience at Ushaka in Durban. Because I was like, I'd love to swim with dolphins. This was long before Hooked on Freddy, by the way. And they offer what's called a dolphin experience at Ushaka. You don't swim with them as such, but you kind of get to touch them and be up close to them. And, you have a dolphin encounter, let's call it that. Mm-hmm. I assume these were female dolphins because I do not recall any dolphin penis.
No.
But it certainly makes you think the word dolphin encounter certainly has a new meaning to me.
Right.
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 But Paulo, let's move on because from the sublime to the ridiculous this week, I have something potentially, not weirder, definitely not weirder, but also weird. Pretty weird. Pretty fun.
Oh, yes. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
I have a documentary film. I discovered this documentary film by listening to one of my favorite podcasts, Smartless. Now, we have spoken about J-Bay a lot on this show. He's kind of the show mascot in a way, our J-Bay. And one of the recent episodes, he mentions how he was at school with this woman named Amy, and she's made a documentary film about him. And of course, I was like, well, I have to look that up. Looked it up, found a trailer for it, then found the full movie on Vimeo, which is very hard to watch, by the way. I don't know what's wrong with Vimeo's player. I just want to put that out there.
Let's just have a moment.
Disaster.
Yeah, you know what? Let's just have a moment to talk about that, right? So Vimeo, listen. No one should dominate anything. So YouTube, you need a competitor. So you think Vimeo is going to be it. It's almost as if they're intentionally trying to make themselves not good. It is so difficult to do anything on Vimeo, but why? Why?
Dude, it took me so long to watch this movie because it kept stopping.
Yeah.
It won't play. It just doesn't play. Anyway, I have not watched it in its entirety because I haven't had a lot of time this week, but I've skimmed through it sufficiently to talk about it. So he mentions on the Smartest podcast that there's this documentary film about him made by this woman named Amy Keating. And I'm like, okay. And the way he talks about it on the podcast, I'm like, this sounds like it could be quite funny. I look it up. I'm thinking, okay, so I watched the trailer. The trailer's hilarious. I'm going to make you play it now. But then I see that the movie is an hour and a half long. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I start watching it. And even though it certainly seems quite cute, it's, wow, low budget, bad sound, bad audio, not a professional, let's just say kind of put together. But then I realized that that's kind of half the charm of it. This movie came out in 2008. It is not new.
Okay.
It tells the story of when her and Jason were at school together. So it starts in the late 70s and then it goes into the 80s. But I'm not going to say another word. I just want you to watch the trailer and then I'll talk about it a little bit more. Watch that trailer.
My name is Amy Keating Rogers, and Jason Bateman thinks I'm dead.
He thinks I'm dead. He thinks I'm dead. Jason Bateman thinks I'm dead. Yes, you heard just what I said. I said, Jason Bateman thinks I'm dead. It all started in grade 3. Jason Bateman took a shine to me. I was on his girlfriend list. He sealed the deal. He kissed me on the lips. Moving on to grade 4. Well, after that kiss, I wanted more. But Jason Bateman, he moved on. I had to face the fact that the love was gone. Now we get to grade 5. My head throbbed. I cried and cried. The doctor thought I was insane until they found a tumor in my brain. Then I started in grade 6. My head it was bald, but my brain it was fixed. Jason called, said he heard I died, but I cleared it up, said that I'm alive. Then when I was age 14, I saw Jason, said, it's Amy Keating. You won't believe what Jason said. He said, oh my God, Amy, I thought you were dead. He thinks I'm dead. He thinks I'm dead. Jason Bateman thinks I'm dead. I had a tumor in my head, so Jason Bateman thinks I'm dead.
So, thank you for watching that, listening to that 80s show. We are ending the show right now because I'm fucking watching that immediately. I have never been more sold by a song ever. A song has never moved me as much since I heard Club Tropicana. Right. That is, where did you find this story? It is obviously Smartless.
I told you, I Googled it. He spoke about it on Smartless.
Word.
I found it. There's even fresh, because I mean, like I said, this movie came out in like 2000, I think it was 2009. And so it's on Vimeo. And I mean, it says 9 years ago on Vimeo, but she made it like even longer ago than that. And so there's old comments on it. And then all of a sudden there's a bunch of new comments going, hey, I found this because of Smartless kind of thing. And she replies to all the comments. She's like, oh, I'm so glad you like it. It is very funny. It's very funny because she clearly, I mean, she's actually a TV writer. That's what she does. She wrote on Powerpuff Girls and a whole bunch of like Nickelodeon things, TV, like kids TV shows.
I can
and stuff.
see
That's
that.
what she does.
I can see that.
She's got a really good sense of humor, this woman. Like, so funny. There's this one scene. So it's literally and then so what happens is, okay, so it's basically, yes, Jason, they were at school together, then she got a brain tumor. He heard that she got a brain tumor. He thought she died. He calls her to check she hasn't died. Because they went off to different schools at some point. Or he wasn't in school a lot. Remember, he was a child actor. He just wasn't in school a lot.
Exactly, because I mean, he must have been on Silver Spoons. I mean, there's some photos like in that trailer. We'll put that up on that 80s Show SA Facebook page. Everything we spoke about today is there. Trust me, the John Stamos is all going to be there. Don't worry about it. And
all going to be there. Yeah.
You can see some of it and you see some photos of him. And you go, geez, he must have been like school and Silver Spoons at the same time. So yeah, child actor.
Oh, yeah.
What is it? Little House on the Prairie? Wasn't he on that? So he's probably earlier.
No, I mean, it was Little House on the Prairie. So she even mentions about how when they were in school and he had to go off to do Little House on the Prairie and stuff. So he wasn't in school a lot of the time. And then at one point they went to different schools. Anyway, the point is they were in school together. Then he went off and then she got this brain tumor, which they removed, and she's totally fine. But he had heard through the grapevine that, oh my God, this Amy who we were at school with, she got a brain tumor. So he was like, oh my God, I need to check. And then he called her, like this is when they were still kids. He called her and said, I heard you were dead. She's like, no, I'm okay, kind of thing. And he was like, happy to hear it. And that was it. And then they see each other a few years later when they're 14. And he goes, oh my God, I thought you were dead. So she's like, so her whole thing of making this film is like, Jason Bateman has thought that I was dead twice, and I think I'm making this movie to just let him know that I'm still not dead, that I'm okay, kind of thing. So what she does is she turns this documentary into a quest. First of all, she does do it. It's really cool because it's basically showing us stuff of J-Bay that we have never seen before. Pictures of him when he was A little kid,
Awesome.
little kid.
Awesome.
I mean, we've seen him on the movies and stuff like that, but like school pictures, like from the school, books and stuff like that, and like hearing about what he was like at school. She shares some very funny stories of how he was around. Especially, he was very flirty with the girls from a very young age.
Same hairstyle.
Anyway.
Same hairstyle.
Totally same.
You want to talk about not aging? He's more mature, but same hairstyle since he was 8.
Yeah. No, so like there's a lot of insight into his childhood, his normal childhood, his real life, not like his acting, persona, which is really funny. And then then she decides now, what will make this documentary really good is to actually have him on it. But she's completely lost touch with him. So even though she works in entertainment, they haven't seen each other for years, 30 years or whatever, like a long time. 30-something years. And she's like, okay, I need to track him down. So she's like, well, I'm in the entertainment industry, so I'm going to like do a 6 degrees of separation type thing. And I'm going to use my connections to get to him. And the whole documentary
because here's the thing,
all these people she knows.
Here's the thing, right? Because you're going to go, okay, at one point, child star, Jason Bateman, the biggest thing ever, right? And then you go, well, you're a Nickelodeon writer, phenomenal, way more successful than I'll ever be in my life. But that is quite a different stratosphere. However, Jason Bateman did go through a little bit of a mid-career lull where they probably would have leveled out round about this time. This is what I'm thinking. So yeah, interrupted you. You said now she starts going through all her industry friends to go, I got a Kevin Bacon, Jason Bateman.
Exactly, baconing the Bateman. Exactly, and it's really funny. Like I said, I skipped through it, so like I kind of got the gist of it though. It's so funny because like she was like, well, I know people at Nickelodeon, and I'm gonna actually pitch an episode for a show where Jason Bateman does the voice, and she literally does a pitch to like say, this is the character, I think we need Jason Bateman for, like she has this whole plan that they're going to get him. And then of course the studio's like, no, we don't want to do that. So she's like, okay, I tried.
Damn you, studio executives, damn you.
And then she finds out that these people that she knows through her kid's school or something are really good friends with Justine Bateman. So then she's like, oh my God. So she starts talking to them, and she actually reaches through email. She reaches Justine, and like an email goes, and Justine apparently says, oh, I've sent it on to Jason. But I don't know. Things just don't work out. Anyway, she does eventually get to him, and he does appear on the documentary, and it is just the sweetest. It's the sweetest thing. It really is so cool because he's like being nostalgic for his like I'm saying, his normal childhood.
Yeah, that he lost. Like that was kind of taken away from him.
His life. Yeah. And you can see it's actually quite touching. It's really funny. But she's so funny because she's talking to her one friend in the documentary, and he's saying, what you're doing is a little bit stalkery, but now she's married, she's got kids, Jason's married with kids. And he's like, I just want to check, this is all about, you had a thing for Jason when you were little kids. I just want to check that that's all this is, that you're not like, this isn't like something like present tense. And she like looks at him and she goes, no, don't be silly. This is definitely just about the childhood thing. And then you suddenly see like this shrine in her bedroom. It's like Jason Bateman. And she's in there and there's candles, and her little kid walks in and goes, Mommy. And she's like, I told you, Mommy's having private time. So it's like very funny. She's really made it like entertaining and funny.
A scene that I'm very sure that you identified with way more than you're comfortable with, if I may estimate.
So it's really fun. Again, I think there's a strong 80s.
Oh, Dori, I don't give a shit.
Strong one.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, because it's J-Bay. It's
wow.
J-Bay.
What a recommendation. You got like, you know what? It's worth going on to Vimeo. I'll do it. I will do it.
You're going to have to, because it's only on Vimeo, unfortunately. You're going to have to.
I'll do it. I've got to watch that. Yeah. That sounds hilarious. Oh, almost embarrassed now to give my recommendation after that. Jason Bateman Thinks I'm Dead. That is so great. You had me with a catchy tune. Gotta watch that. Gotta watch that. So Dori, let me get into my movie then, right? So last week I said I got 2 movies, 2 Halloween-y type movies, right? And I did one last week, Once Bitten, Jim Carrey's first movie. It was actually great. Got some feedback. Listeners liked it.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but I watched the trailer.
Fun movie.
I don't know if I've actually ever watched it. I think I might have seen it in the video shop, but never actually watched it.
Fun movie.
Because the trailer was not familiar.
Fun movie.
Yeah, no, it looks good. Looks good.
Yeah.
I did watch the dance-off scene that you posted on our Facebook page.
Good,
I did
right?
watch that. That was cool. Oh, it was brilliant.
All the things Jim Carrey's great at, none of the Jim Carrey annoying persona. So that like really worked. So I had two. I knew one was going to be better than the other. That one was way better. The one I got this week is actually disappointed me. It broke my heart. I'm not very happy about it. No, because it starred one of my favorite actors from the 80s. I loved him. Gene Wilder, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it is horror. Now, what's it called? They called it a comedy chiller. Now, Gene Wilder loved this genre of movies that he grew up on in the 40s and 50s called comedy chillers, of where it is comedic horror movies, right? Comedic haunted mansion. So they are scary, but it's all quite funny as well, right? So Gene Wilder's completely shapes his childhood. Kind of think of Young Frankenstein. That would kind of sit into comedy chiller. Right. Gene Wilder's in that, right?
Yeah.
So Gene Wilder through the late 70s, early 80s, comedy gold, hit after hit. One thing I kind of realized, I had a feeling that Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor were in every movie together. They were only in two. They only did two movies together. Yeah, they only did Stir Crazy and Hear No Evil.
See No Evil.
Whichever order.
Really?
They only did two together. Right? Because you guys went, no, only did two. And it makes sense because they say they didn't like each other. But they were so good. Right? But anyway, so Gene Wilder, he's done Young Frankenstein. He's having loads of hits. And people are like, you are comedy maestro, you're a comedy genius, right? So he pitches a movie.
Yeah.
He pitches a movie to studio execs, and they say, listen, who are we to say anything here? You like the movie, you want to do the movie, you're Gene, go Wilder. And I got to take a moment here. If that wasn't literally said in the production meeting or at sign-off, you're Gene, go Wilder.
It wasn't, because you weren't there. It was not said.
Second time to go, damn you studio executives, because that is genius. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
So he's got this movie. It's called Haunted Honeymoon. That is my movie of the week. And
oh, that sounds familiar.
Yeah. Well,
I don't think I ever watched it though, but I remember it.
I'm going to tell you.
I remember it existing in the world.
You're going to remember one character in particular. So it stars his wife. He acted with his wife. Her name Gilda Radner. I think this was the last movie she made before she passed away, if I stand corrected. So it was her last film before she passed away. So they play a husband and wife team, and what they are, their characters, it's set in the 40s, and what they are radio drama actors, right? So way back in the days, the really cool people on radio used to do radio dramas. Now the really cool radio people left radio and do podcasts, right? So they used to do radio dramas where it was like before TV, acted out radio serials, characters, music, sound effects, all live, and people just loved it. Fun fact, Dori, do you know that soap operas, do you know the history of soap operas? Just as an aside. So,
I mean, vaguely.
Radio comes out.
I know that they were, yes.
Right? Radio comes out, radios get made. So people can listen to radio. So department stores are like, people aren't buying radios because there's nothing to listen to. Sure, there's music and there's news. Nothing much else is going on. So they approach these soap companies, the washing detergent companies, who are all fighting for, these kind of like new stay-at-home moms, this great American boom, to go, we need to make something else for those housewives. So we're going to do these plays on radio. US soap companies are going to sponsor them so that we can sell radios. Soap operas. right?
Yes.
Story. Fun
Yes.
fact.
I did know that. I did know that
Now,
story, yes.
everyone knows that. What you get on the 80 Show award winning, forget about it. So these are their characters. But as Gene Wilder proposes to now his girlfriend in the movie, he starts getting the yips. He can't finish the show. He's stumbling over his words. He's just a mess. And the producers of this, like, this guy's our star. We got to sort it out. His cousin, Gene Wilder's cousin, shows up and says, I've got the cure for him. I'm going to scare him to death. You know, because like when you get the hiccups, you give someone a fright. When someone's got the yips, I've got to give him the fright. I've got to scare him to death. I'm taking him up to our family mansion, our family castle for the weekend or before the period they're going to get married. And I'm going to set up a series of shenanigans with ghosts and etc. to scare him back straight. I'm going to scare him straight. So off they go to the castle.
What a ridiculous plot line, though.
Ridiculous.
What a ridiculous plot line.
Ridiculous. But it's very much Gene Wilder, Mel Brooks-ish. It's very much fitting into that whole, you know, spiel.
Yeah.
They get up there now, this cast of family, his family, Gene Wilder's character's family, they're nuts. They're just all rich. They're all eccentric, especially his aunt, played by Dom DeLuise. Okay. So Dom DeLuise, dressed as a woman, plays his over-the-top aunt, but so convincingly that you don't for 1 second find it offensive. You don't for 1 second. He's so in the character that he actually wins the Razzie Award for Worst Supporting Actress that year. Like, that's how convincing he was. But he's just a really over-the-top, outrageous caricature of Gene Wilder's aunt. So they're all in this castle for the weekend, and then there's things start happening. Apparitions, ghosts, a werewolf. Some are planted by the cousin trying to scare him straight. Some are real. So you've now got this thing of going, ooh, we're in a haunted mansion that's not haunted.
Yeah.
But it is haunted. Right?
Okay. Plot twist.
Plot twist. So when Gene Wilder starts telling everyone, no, this is happening to me, people are like, oh, we know because we set it up. But they're like, wow, that's really good what you're doing. We don't.
Yes.
So Gene Wilder is, you know, he's wild-eyed. He's got the crazy hair. He does the best with it. This is his script. But it just misses in so many ways. Like, I wanted it to be so much better because it had so many things that should have worked.
Yeah.
Oh, but it just didn't. It just the redeeming feature, and actually, I know it's like kind of skeptical. The Dom DeLuise character is actually the best part. Is actually because he doesn't play it as I'm a man as a woman. He just plays it like I'm this crazy out there woman. Just does it really, really well. And you forget how good Dom DeLuise was, and also you're reminded that his first name is Dominic DeLuise. That's a fun little fact.
Okay, and that his son Peter DeLuise was on 21 Jump Street.
Oh my God, today years old when they are related.
No.
I never really thought of it. Actually, I like, you know, the names are the same and you're like, well, both actors. Never actually thought of it. Thank you for that, Dori, actually.
That's the interesting thing you learned this week.
I did. So that is my movie, Haunted Honeymoon. Kind of disappointing. If you're looking for Halloweeny stuff, maybe you want to do Once Bitten. Give yourself Haunted Honeymoon, but it's not great. It's not great. It'll ruin your impression of Gene Wilder.
I may have watched it, and if I did, it's entirely forgettable. So yeah, okay.
I think if you see the Dom DeLuise character, you're going to be reminded.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a mental image, which is why I'm thinking I might have seen it, because I have a mental image. I hope to see if it matches.
There is one scene that is actually so good, and it's perfect Gene Wilder, but it's like a really great skit. He ends up in the basement and he finds a dead body there. But now at the same time, cops are in the house for, 80 shenanigans. So now he goes, oh my God, if the cops find me with the body, they're going to think I killed it. So he jumps on top of the body and it looks like the body's legs are his legs. So he's just sitting there and they're like, what are you doing? He said, no, I'm rehearsing. I'm an actor. We've got a scene coming up. And the body's not dead and the legs start moving. So now he has to interact with the legs and pretending they're his. Very
physical comedy.
Yeah,
okay.
But done really, really well. That's probably the one redeeming scene of the whole movie.
Yeah.
But what it did, it reminded me of another Gene Wilder movie that I'm saving over for next week, which was way better.
Okay.
This was like his start is at its peak, that they went, you know what, Gene, go Wilder. You made that movie, make this one. And then they're kind of like, what's Richard Pryor doing? Let's get them back together. He can't be trusted on his own. Oh, Dori, your recommendation was fantastic. Now,
I'm very proud of it.
Well done. Well done. So putting together the show, I had a feature. I wanted to try it. It wasn't really working out. And when in doubt, what's the Hoff up to? Let's find some Hoff-related content. That's all it is. You must know the inner workings of that 80 show. When we don't know what to fill in, something short, something not working. So Hoff, what's he up to? And he never lets us down. Always rely on the Hoff. So once again, Celeb Savant sends us something. David Hasselhoff. I don't know the background of this thing at all. Did you watch it?
No, me neither.
No?
I did watch it.
You did what? I don't know where it's from. Found it on Instagram.
No idea.
David Hasselhoff was obviously in something. He's now Michael Knight. He's this doyen of good. People must behave. And remember in the 80s, we used to watch kid shows and everything had to have a message, right? It's like, oh, do this, don't do it. You know, after school stuff, you had to behave. TV was raising us. That's when we decided. TV raised us. Listen to this. No context whatsoever. Now, we'll post the video on that 80 Show SA Facebook page, but this is like some sort of school scenario. And then at the end of it, you see David Hasselhoff looking 80s David Hasselhoff, red shirt, giving us a sermon. Take a listen to this.
Hi, I'm David Hasselhoff, and I'll be right back. One to grow on.
Oh, here comes my best friend, Becky. Hey, Becky, I want you to... I can't talk to you now.
Your best friend, huh?
I don't get it. I didn't do anything.
That's right. You didn't do anything. It has nothing to do with you. You got the cold shoulder from your best friend because she's probably having a real tough day and she just has something else on her mind. Don't take it personally and don't jump to conclusions. If a friend acts weird, it's most likely because you caught him at a bad time. Wait a little while. When the pressure's off, you'll find out she's still your best friend. And that's one to grow on.
So there was obviously a show in the 80s, one to grow on.
Yes.
Right? Messages, kids. You know? Because, listen, 80s, I think more so in America, I don't know so much here, there was the generation of latchkey kids. Both parents were working, kids had to look after themselves, get home, turn on the TV, TV's doing the parenting, right?
Definitely more in America because remember, our TV only started at 6 p.m.
Right.
And then 5:30.
Yes.
And then it gradually got earlier and earlier, but yes.
So David Hasselhoff is raising your kids, which, not terrible. I'm not hating it, right? So it's a clip. We got it off a vintage Instagram site. Show's called One to Grow On. What I love the most, and I'm just going to play you the beginning again because I want you to remember Becky's reaction. Take a listen to this.
Hi, I'm David Hasselhoff, and I'll be right back. One to grow on.
Oh, here comes my best friend, Becky. Hey, Becky, I want you to... I can't talk to you now.
Hey, Becky. The best comment on this whole...
Becky is not happy. Not happy.
The comment, settle the fuck down, Becky.
So I just quickly did a little search on what One to Grow On was. An educational public service an educational public service announcement that broadcast during NBC's Saturday morning lineup from 1983 to 1989 when the network ran cartoons. The name is taken from the custom of putting an extra candle on a birthday cake as one to grow on. I've never heard of that custom.
No, never.
Ever.
Never heard of that.
Yeah.
Okay, and does it kind of hint at the hosts?
It doesn't. Well, I mean, there's little video clip. There's actually many video clips with David Hasselhoff.
Okay.
I don't know if he was the only. I'm going to have to check the Wikipedia page. Sorry, I'm going to have to see if it mentions who else was on.
Yeah, I mean, were they using
apart from David Hasselhoff? Was
Scott Baio on? Was Tony Danza him of 4-footed Tony Danza?
Please, I don't know. OMG. Okay.
This is happening. This is happening live. This is happening
right now. Oh my God.
It's happening right now.
The cast list on Wikipedia for One to Grow On. Jason Bateman.
What are you talking about?
Justine Bateman. Michael J. Fox. Michael Gross. Estelle Getty. Valerie Harper. David Hasselhoff. Perry King. Michael Landon. Nancy McKeon. Richard Mole. Mr. T. Ricky Schroeder. Dwight Schultz. There's a bunch, there's such a long list. I'm not even going to read all the other names, but basically a bunch of people from Family Ties, a bunch of people from the Golden Girls, all the Batemans, Michael J.
Highway
Fox,
to Heaven, Miami Vice,
Highway to Heaven,
The Gold, Facts of Life,
the
Cosby Show,
Life,
the A-Team.
Charlotte Ray as well, Mr. T, Dwight and Dwight Schultz. Oh my God!
This needs a That 80 Show deep dive. We have kind of come to the end of the show. I know it's podcasting, but we got to keep within a limit. There's only so much of us people can handle. We got to do a deep dive. This is opening up the show next week. We've got to get into One to Grow On, because this feels like one that we missed, and that's on us. That's on us.
Totally.
I honestly thought that I'm going to end this off of going, it was Michael J. David Hasselhoff. I went through all the Michaels there. He's not even Michael. He's Michael Knight. Yeah. I went through all. I thought I'm going to end off David Hasselhoff talking. I said the only thing missing from that was this response from Kit.
It appears to be a large. My goodness. Large isn't the word. It's enormous.
I thought a very camp Kit is going to be the perfect accompaniment to that. But we have just opened something up here that I feel we owe it some justice.
Yeah.
One to grow on, one to follow up on. This has been That 80 Show. This has been That Jason Bateman Show. This has been John Stamos Show, the Tony Danza Show, the Gene Wilder Show.
David Hasselhoff Show.
Always. That's not even worth mentioning. It's going to come. David Hasselhoff, Dolph Lundgren's nips. It's going to get a mention. One to Grow On coming up next week on That 80 Show. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Everything we spoke about can be found on That 80 Show SA on Facebook. Dori, John Stamos, Tony Danza. Who's the boss in your eyes?
Oh, do you even need to ask?
I think I kind of do.
Really?
Nah. Thanks for joining me, Dori. Goodbye.
Bye.